Well, today we're going to focus more so on the mobile app of Oliabo Studio today. And then today is the last of our daily sessions. Next week, we will move to a standard weekly cadence of these training meetings. And we'll be doing that on Thursdays at 2 p.m. Mountain Time every Thursday. So please make sure you are aware of that. Make sure that your teams are aware of that. And by all means, you can see that information within the calendar that is in Oliabo Studio. So reminder to keep an eye on that and spread the word for those that would like to attend. Uh, we're a little behind on getting some of the last few days of these recordings up on Oliabo Studio, so we need to get that done. But I'll show you where you can find the recordings so that you can share those around or view those at your leisure as well. Let me get my, excuse me, let me get my mobile app turned on and mirrored to my computer, and I'll start screen sharing. So give me a moment here. And as a reminder, there is a Q&A section within Zoom where it's easier for us to check out the questions that you have. By all means, you can participate in the chat as well if you would like, but if you've got specific questions, best to put them in the Q&A section. So give me a moment here. Oh, and before I get into this, I would suggest if you don't already have the Oliabo Studio mobile app on your mobile device, I would suggest downloading it now so that you can follow along. If you do have it, open it up, then you can follow along and get a little bit more of an understanding of what we're talking about and what we're doing. And if you have any questions, you can then throw them in the Q&A section here. You can do that by going to the App Store on your device of whatever app store you use. Search for Oliabo Studio. So Oliabo Space Studio, and it'll pull it up. And then you can follow along with us by having the app right there opened up. You log into the app by submitting your account email address. It'll then email you a code. You then enter that code into the mobile app, and it'll log you in. And as long as you stay logged into the app, it'll keep you logged in for, I think it's months. It might be up to, I don't know. It's several months, I think, as long as you don't log out. Sometimes if there's an update to the app, you might have to log back in, but get logged in, stay logged in. It's really easy. Then anytime you open it, you're good to go there. So let me, Adam's showing it right there. So
Yep.
right there.
This is what you're looking for when you go into your app store.
Thanks, Adam. Okay, so I am showing off my Oliabo Studio mobile app screen. I'm mirroring it from my phone to my computer. That usually works pretty well. Sometimes it locks up and freezes. So if it does that, I might have to restart it. But let me make the mouse pointer larger so that you can see that easier. So give me a moment here. Okay, so this is the Oliabo Studio mobile app. So as we mentioned before, you can access this by downloading it on your app store, and then you log in. In fact, I'm just going to show you. I'm going to log out so that I can show you that. So click here on my profile icon. I'm going to go down here to the bottom, and I'm going to log out. So this is what it looks like when you first open it if you haven't logged in. So you just tap here on sign in with email. It will then give you a space to submit your email. This is my test email account. And so you submit that, and now I'm going to go check my email. So I'm on my computer, so I have another screen open. If I was on my mobile device, I would just go to my email app where I normally check my emails, and I would open up the email there. This sends real time. Like it usually only takes a few seconds for it to send and get to your email. If you're not seeing it, it shouldn't go to spam because there's a special type of email that this is. where it should not get stuck in most spam filters of most major email providers like Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail, all sorts of other major email providers. But check spam just in case you're not seeing it. And if it's taking longer than a few seconds or a minute, please let us know. There's a few cases where that does happen, and that could just be that there's a could be a filter on your system. There could just be a slight delay on ours. If it's taking longer than a few minutes for you to see that, then what you can do is you can just go back to the login. If you click back to login, you can then enter your email again and request to receive the verification again, and you can try that. Um, anyway, so I'm going to my email, and you can either copy it from your email on your device, or you can write it down, and then you can either paste it in here or you can type it in. I'm going to just paste it in. Oops. And so then it will log you in. And now, as long as you don't log out, it'll just keep you logged in. So here is the home screen. There's a few things I want to talk to you about the navigation so that you understand how to navigate around in the Oliabo Studio app. There's this lower section here where you've got the home section. This is the shareable section. Right here is the contacts section. And here is the shop section. These are the main sections of the app. And within each of those sections, there's this upper navigation area that we call tabs. So these are the tabs, and the tabs are different depending on which section you're in. So this is the shareable section, and it's got these different tabs up here specific to the products or the opportunity. Explore is kind of like the home of the share section. The contacts has a couple different sections up here and some different areas here. And then the shop section just breaks down some different things, all products, bundle and save, membership options, some things that way. So let's start here on the home section. The home section, home tab, this is kind of like your initial entry point into all things Oliabo Studio app. This daily summary right here is a quick, short few sentences, a paragraph that gives you a snapshot of what's happening recently in your business. So, for example, mine says you have one new follow-up activity from a recent contact. Reaching out might encourage progress on the free enrollment opportunity. Consider a quick check-in to support the engagement. So this is basically just saying, hey, you've got a contact that you've reached out to. I suggest following up. This is an AI insight. So this daily summary here is driven by the Oliabo Studio AI tool that is integrated here. And so it's basically looking at the content you've shared, the people that have looked at that content, other things that are happening within your business, if there's been any new enrollments or purchases or things like that. And it gives you a little snapshot. So you get just a brief little quick snapshot of what's been happening. As you scroll down here, this is some featured content. We'll change this from time to time. Right now, this is our standard welcome to Oliabo. It's like a few minute long video. Just gives a brief summary of what Oliabo is all about. The Oliabo Studio tutorials. These are video tutorials that will show you different things about how to do different things within Oliabo Studio. So this is a general overview video. You've got other ones here, how to enroll a customer, upgrading a customer to a brand rep, how to become a brand rep, my business dashboard, and we're creating more of these every day and every week. So there'll be continually new ones and additional tutorials added. So that's where you can see those. These are also available in the resource section. So this is clicking this button is a quick link to the resource tab up here at the top within the home section. So down here, home icon, this is the home section, resource tab over here. When I click on this button here on the home page, it just links me over to the resource section. I'll go into the resource section a little bit later, but this is also where you can see the Oliabo Studio tutorials. So I'm going to go back here to the home page. Scrolling further down on the home page, this is some additional content we're highlighting. So this is the VIA promotion that we have going on this summer. When you click on that, it then opens up and will show you that PDF. So you can then take a look and you can then download this, share it with others. Just a quick shout out for this. I would highly recommend any of you working towards the Kappa, Quinto, or Venti rank advancements. This is a promotion we have going on during the summer that I would highly recommend you take a look at and get familiar with and work towards achieving these rank qualifications during that time period. For you team leaders out there, I would definitely get familiar with this and make sure that you're helping your teams and people within your organizations excuse me, work towards these goals. Some great bonus opportunities there. So that's something that we'll highlight different pieces of content from here on time to time. These two widgets, catch-ups and recent activity, these are also AI-driven insights. So catch-ups is kind of a group of different pieces of information that will include anything from like content that we've recently uploaded that maybe you haven't seen yet to follow-up suggestions with a contact of yours and other things. Recent activity gives you a little bit more just a view of all the different kinds of interactions that people are having with content that you're sharing, whether it's links or a specific content. And I'll get into more detail on that. So the numbers here in the upper right corner of each of these widgets shows you how many catch-ups you have. For example, I have 12 catch-ups that I haven't interacted with. And if I click on this, it'll take me into the catch-up section. Now, each of these catch-up cards is a different catch-up. So this is specifically one that says, Oliabo just added some new content. Take a look, see if it's something that might be interesting to you or could be something you could share with a contact of yours. And so if that's something you want to take a look at, you can look at that. If it's something you've already seen, you can mark it as complete and it'll remove it, or you can copy the link here, or you can skip it if you want to save it in here to look at later. If you want to keep it in your catch-ups, you could skip it and look at it later. Something to note, whenever there's a link or a share link anywhere within your Oliabo Studio, when there's a share link or a link to copy like this, it always will get tagged to you as the brand rep. So if you copy that link and share that link, it will be tagged to you. If it's a share link or a copy link like this, it will always get tagged back to you. That's something we call fair share. Fair share basically means that you're getting your fair share of the credit when you're sharing out the links from the content within Oliabo Studio, right? So most systems in our experience, in your experience, you might have one replicated site link, maybe a brand rep enroll link. And those links are specifically tied to you as a brand rep. So when you share those links, it then connects anybody that you've shared them with, it clicks through, it connects them to you. So the difference with Oliabo Studio, there are those two links, but all the different shareable content within Oliabo Studio has a unique link tied to it that is also tied to you. And so it becomes really powerful, allowing you to then share all this different content that we're creating, but keeping any interactions that come from those links that you share tied to you. So anybody that enrolls or purchases becomes a customer or brand rep, that's all still connected to you because all of the links that you get from your Oliabo Studio mobile app or the desktop access that I'll go into a little bit at the end, all tied back to you. So here's an example of that here. I could copy this link and share it with somebody via text, email, share it on social media. I could click share link and it'll bring up my contacts that I've added to the app if I want to share it with a specific contact. This is powerful because by uploading contacts to the app, which I'll go into in a little bit, and then sharing content with them specifically through this kind of a mechanism where you're sharing it not by going out to a different, like your text message app. You can do that and it'll still track back to you. But if you share it through this mechanism, it will not just only track back to you, it will also say the specific person, the specific contact that interacted with that piece of content. So the link will always connect people to you, whether you share it on social media, in a text message, email, if they scan a QR code with that link. But by doing it specifically through the mechanism of sharing it with a contact that you've added to the mobile app, directly through the mobile app, it will tie it to you. I'll show you a little bit more on that later. So I'm going to skip this one because I want to look at it later. This is another one where this is a different catch up where it's saying, hey, follow up with Adam. Looks like you've contacted or looks like you've shared some content with your contact Adam. They clicked on the link and it's the AI is saying, hey, consider following up with this person. They've clearly expressed some interest. in the content that you've shared, consider either messaging them, sharing some additional content. So I could either act on that, I could complete this if I've already done that, or I could skip it and save it for later. So I'm gonna skip it by just swiping. You can either click the button or you can just swipe. Follow up with Peter. Here's another AI insight reminding me to follow up with Peter because this is another contact that has been interacting. Spartacus, another contact. So that's what catch-ups are. Catch-ups are content you need to review that's new, contact follow-ups. Recent activity gives you some more insight into the interactions that people are having. Again, this is all on the home section, home tab. So this is showing me that I've got 31 recent activities. So activities in the last few days that people have been having with content I've been sharing. Now, some of these will show specific names if I've done the sharing mechanism that I'll show you through the app specifically. Others are just going to be generic, like a link clicked, someone viewed your join page, link clicked, someone viewed the Own Your Own Life page that you shared. So any of these generic ones just means that I shared my regular one of my regular links. I might have texted it to somebody, I might have emailed it to somebody specific, but if I didn't share it directly in the way that I'm going to show you through the app, it will still connect them to me. They're still connected to me when they click on those links through the text, through the email, through social media, but the app doesn't have the ability to give you specific insight into that individual, but it will connect them to you. So know that if you shared the link with somebody, they clicked on that link, even if you didn't share it directly through the app, they're still connected to you. Because that all happens based upon the link structure. But there are certain unique ways you can do that so that you can get additional insight on an individual basis. Something I want to point out here, when it comes to sharing and using Oliabo Studio and working with Oliabo, we're giving you a lot of new tools and new capabilities that frankly haven't been around before. So we're leading the way in this new brave world of technology to facilitate a lot of capabilities. But it can also be simple, right? You can keep it simple, and I'll show you. So when you're looking at Studio and when you're thinking about it from the mobile app or the desktop, if you're feeling overwhelmed, thinking like, wow, all this new technology, I'm not really sure how to use all this stuff. If it's not for you, you don't have to, right? I'll show you the simple ways that you can keep doing what you've always done. The whole idea is that you know what works best for you. You know how you engage with your audience, whether it's individuals, neighbors, family, friends, a social media following. Oliabo Studio and what we do here at Oliabo is all about supporting and facilitating your magic and the way that works best for you. So feel free to only use what works for you. If you want to explore more, we're here to help you explore more, to learn how to do that. You've also got different team members, I'm sure, that can help and show you some different things as well. But don't feel like you have to do these things if it's not for you. But realize that there's a lot of power here for those who do want to dive in and dig deeper. Moving further down the list here, or moving further down the home page here of the app, there's a to-do list. So this is, I'm all about to-do lists. I've realized that as smart as I am, or as smart as I think I am, there's only so much that I can keep track of in my head. If I don't write it down, put it in a spreadsheet, or create a to-do list, there's only so much that I can keep track of up here. And that's pretty typical for most of us. And so by having a to-do list right here within the app, you can keep track of all sorts of things, follow-ups with contacts, whether it's a customer prospect, a brand rep prospect, follow-ups with team members that you're trying to help. Maybe like one thing that I would suggest doing that I know some of you do is you have weekly or sometimes daily check-ins with some of your teams and some of your individual team members. You help them set goals. Like, for example, let's say I've got a goal of helping somebody like Adam. Let's say Adam's on my team and he and I have talked and we've set a goal that Adam wants to be a Kappa by the end of June. So I could write myself a task, and I could also have him write a task or a to-do that would have to do with some of those goals and helping him move forward. So you can also do this based on individual follow-ups. Like these two follow-ups right here for me are specific to following up with specific contacts that have interacted with some different content. So we saw some of those different interactions in the catch-ups that we were looking at earlier. I then added specific tasks for me to remember. Oh yeah, follow up with Spartacus about Flex. because one, Spartacus wanted to know more about Flex. I sent him a piece of content. He then interacted with that content. I want to remember to follow up. So I wrote a follow up. You can put a date on that. So it'll remind you on a specific date. So to-dos, to-dos are an important thing to allow you to kind of advance and grow the number of things and tasks you're juggling if you can keep track of them that way. The calendar, this calendar shows all the different events that we have listed out: corporate events, webinars, in-person events. We're also starting to add events that that team members and leaders are doing globally as well, both in-person and webinars where it makes sense. So it'll show you a little snapshot of kind of the what's going on over the next couple of days. But if you click into this, if you click it or tap it within the app, it'll then show you, and you can scroll down to all the different events that we have listed. If the event has a link like this one does to a Zoom meeting, that link will turn on and become clickable. I don't remember the exact timing, within a few hours of the event, because we don't want people to accidentally, if you were thinking you were on the other event and then you clicked on this link for an event that was the wrong date, you might be sitting in the wrong event webinar and not realize it. So those links are activated just before. You can share this information, copy it, tell somebody else about it. They can access it in their studio. This calendar is also available in the desktop version. Down a little further on the homepage, just some quick stats to just give you a little bit of a snapshot on the different interactions that people are having with the content you're sharing. So how much you've shared, how many page views came from those different links that you've shared out, whether it's a specific piece of content or just your replicated site link or your enroll link, and how many visitors. And you can change these to a today view, last 24 hours, different time periods. I'll show you where you can dig into deeper stats, and that's in the My Business section. But really, to get into the details of the reporting that's available in the My Business tab here, I would recommend doing that on your computer, because when you're looking at spreadsheets and other kind of reports that have all sorts of data, it's a lot easier to do that and sift through that on a larger screen like a laptop or a desktop computer. Further down, some highlighted content on the compensation plan. And then always down here at the bottom is how you can contact support. These are the support hours, our email, phone number, and chat. The chat, if you're paying attention, you can actually keep track of your chat history here. So if I started a new chat, then it would be a new chat. But then if I went back, I could see other previous chats that I have. So this is available right here, home tab, home section, right at the bottom. So from time to time, certain content pieces will change, but these core pieces like the calendar, the stats, to do, catch-ups, those things will always remain in this general structure, but some of these content pieces will change. So the next tab over on the home section, next tab over is My Business. And My Business is what starts to get into the granular details of reporting and stats and other things happening within your organization. There's a submenu here that I want to note that you can click on by clicking this little hamburger menu here. However, I would recommend these other sections are much easier to interact with and view and engage in and dig into on a computer, because they have like deeper reporting and things that way. This dashboard, though, is a great view on your mobile app and on a computer that gives you a quick snapshot of some key metrics and other info. So it shows you your name, your ID number, your site link. If you had a recent payment, a commission payment, it'll show that there. It'll show your lifetime earnings here. This rank advancement widget basically gives you a quick snapshot on how you're doing in the current month in your progression towards your next rank. So, for example, in this current month, this test account I've already achieved Quinto. So you can click back and forth to see different ranks and what it takes and where you're at. So when I click back to Quinto, it says, yep, you're already there, 100%. Congratulations. So it's focusing me on Venti, because the reality is that as much as we all want to know how to go from brand rep to the top as fast as possible, the best way to do that is step by step and keeping focused on the next step in your journey. So if you're a brand rep, that first major step in your journey is Kappa. If you're a Kappa, the next step is Quinto. If you're a Quinto, the next step is Venti. And so you really want to focus in on what you need to do to achieve that next rank advancement. And so it gives you the 4 core rank advancements on each of these and where you're at in that journey. Further down here, it gives you some key metrics we call a business snapshot. Each of these is a different metric about your business. And you can click on or tap on any of these, and it'll pull up a description of exactly what that is and what that means, so you can understand what those are. So get familiar with that because this gives you a really good idea of some of the core metrics that are important indicators of the health of your business and where you're going and where you've been. Further down, this orders widget here, this just shows you essentially the last, I should count it at some point, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know. It shows you the last 10 to 15 orders that have come into your organization, not just from your personal enrollments, but from anybody within your organization. Customer orders, brand rep orders on any level within your organization from any of your team members or their team members. So it gives you a quick snapshot of the enrollments that are coming in and the date, how much it was, what level it came in at. Was it one of your frontline? Was it somebody on your second level? Is it a free enrollment? What is it, right? So that gives you a quick snapshot of orders. You can dig deeper into the orders. If you click view all orders, it'll take you to one of those reports. But again, I would suggest, well, I'll show you. So if you click on that, it takes you to an orders report, right? So if you want, you can dig through this. You can try to, you can expand these columns. You can move the columns around. But as you can see, if you really want to dig into the details, this is why I suggest when you're viewing these more detailed reports, you'll be a lot better served if you view those and dig into the details on your laptop computer or desktop computer. A tablet would have a better view of that as well. But on your mobile device, there's a lot of details here, which are powerful and important details, but better to dig into those on a larger screen. So back to the dashboard here. Underneath the orders, the recent orders, you've got recent members. So the recent members are new members that have come into your organization, members being customers or brand reps, any new signups within your organization, not just your personal enrollments, but anybody that signed up within any part of your organization. So this just gives you the last 10 or 15 that have come in. So quick snapshots on your business health on the My Business dashboard. Next over, again, we're on the home page, home section of the mobile app, and we're now going to move over to the My Orders tab up here at the top. My Orders is where you can see your order history and where you can manage your orders, see and manage your subscriptions as well. So subscription management, this is where you can dig in and you can say, okay, I want to either skip the next order. I want to change the payment method on here. I want to pause this. By managing the subscription, you can get in and do all of that. This is a test subscription, so it's not actually showing a lot of that information. So when you click on yours, you should be able to see all that information. I'm going to check. Well, yeah, so this one's showing. I don't know why that other one isn't. That other one probably isn't because it was a test that I did a while back. This is a recent one that I did that was a real subscription order that I processed through the system. So this is more like what you should see. It shows you your next order date, the billing amount every month, what it is, and the total and the information here. If you want to edit that, you click Manage Subscription. And then here I can do things like I can skip the next order. I can change the bill date. So like, let's say, so my next order date on this is July 15th. But if I want to actually have that come sooner, I can click Edit Bill Date, and then I could change that. And I could change that to come on a sooner date. So you can do that. You can pause subscription here. You can change the shipping address. If I wanted to change it to one of my other shipping addresses, I could do that here. And then update that. Same with the payment method. If I wanted to change the payment method or add a new payment method, for this subscription, I can do that here as well. Next to my orders is resources. So resources, which was also linkable from the home page here, the resources tab. This is just where you can dig into all sorts of other educational information. All the tutorials are listed here. You've got some Premium Pay compensation plan videos and presentation material here. You got our social media links there. And then up here at the top, all of these links here are links to different folders that have recordings of these webinars and trainings, recordings of our other webinars, other kinds of educational and training material on product, PDFs, compliance, information on like the different promotions we're running, like that VIA promotion PDF that I mentioned before, event and trip information, like this is information on the upcoming Prima trip, if you want to dig into that. So all these link out to all that different content and information for your edification and well-being in helping you be educated, trained, and look back on webinars and other recordings that way. So now let's move on to the next major section, shareables. So that's this second icon here with these different squares. So these are shareables. Shareables is essentially where you can find your replicated site link. That's the My Oliabo site link. So that's if you want to share that link and send somebody directly to the homepage of oliabo.com. It works when you share that either via text or email or on social media. When somebody clicks on that link, they'll be taken directly to oliabo.com, either on their mobile device or their computer, wherever they click the link from. It'll open up the website and it'll open up your replicated version of the website. So anything that they do to make a purchase or enroll will be connected to you. My brand rep join link is what you would share with people that you wanted to enroll as a brand rep. It'll take them to the join section of the oliabo.com website, which takes them through the process of enrolling as a brand rep. These other pieces of content down below, so this is on the Explore page, which is essentially the first page of the shareable section. These other sections just highlight some different pieces of content that you can grab to share the opportunity, to share about products like Prima, Viso Lux, Flex. Down at the bottom, all sorts of fun Oliabo effect short videos that are fun to watch yourself or to share with others. And then up here at the top, if you want to find all the different shareable content, then you can go into those sections individually, which will then have all of the shareable content that's available for, let's say, sharing the opportunity with a brand rep or sharing product with people that are interested in potentially purchasing the product. So something to understand that I touched on, but any of this shareable content, all of the shareable content, it all has a unique link that is coded to you and to this piece of content. So if somebody scanned this QR code, it's going to tie them to a link that's tied to you. They'll be able to interact with this piece of content, and that will then tie them to you. So when they make a purchase or enroll as a brand rep, it's connected to you. And the way that that works is that when they click on one of those links, when they scan that QR code, either from their mobile device or if they click on a link from their computer, it connects them to you through their browser and through their device. I think it's for nearly a year, so long as they don't clear out their browser history or their device history, or click on another brand rep's one of their shareable links. Because ultimately, this is a relationship-driven business, and so your relationships stay connected to you unless they have a relationship with somebody else that they decide to click on somebody else's link to connect with them. But once they make a purchase, if they make a purchase or enroll, they're then connected to you no matter whose link they click on after that. So any of these shareables on this Explore page, on the Opportunity page, any of these shareables all have that unique link that's connected to you. So each of the links has a different URL because the link is connected to you and connected to this piece of content. But you can always know that that link, so long as you got it from your Oliabo Studio login, is going to connect anybody who clicks on it to you. You can always test that by going into a browser. And you can save that, and then you can test the link yourself, and you can see. So that's my really creative account name, example brand rep. But that's how you can see that it's connected to you. And this is a good example also of what they will see when they interact with that content. So let's say, for example, there was somebody that I've been talking to about the opportunity, because I know that they'd be a great brand rep, and maybe they have in the past, or maybe they are somebody that I have identified as a potential person that would be willing or wanting to explore this opportunity now. Could be a brand rep, an affiliate. It could be a professional like a chiropractor, or somebody else who is into sharing wellness products with their clients. So let's say I want to share this Own Your Own Life video, which is a great video. I would suggest, if you haven't watched it, I would suggest you watch it. You can actually watch it by clicking on it here. And if you click on this piece of content right here, it'll allow you to watch it right there on your device.
I've always believed business.
But if you save this link and then you share it with somebody, when they click on it, the experience they'll have is it'll take them to this page connected to you, and then they can watch the video. They can then click Learn More, which would then take them to the join process, the enroll process, because this is an opportunity piece of content. So here they can learn more about the opportunity, they can enroll, and they can become a brand rep that way. But just by clicking on that link, now they're connected to you. And so let's say they don't buy anything or they don't enroll that day. If they come back on their mobile device next week, next month, several months down the road, they'll still be connected to you. Now, if they click on, we try to connect them. If they've clicked on their mobile device, if their browser connection is the same as what they use on their computer, it would keep them connected. But if they use a different browser or different settings on their computer, it wouldn't necessarily connect them. But if they click on their computer on the link, it would then link them to you. And similarly, if they use the same browser settings on their mobile device, it would keep them connected there as well. So, for example, for me, I use Chrome browser on my computer and on my mobile device, and I'm logged into my Chrome browser on both. So if I click on a brand rep link, it would keep me connected on both because the history is there. Let's see here. I'm reading some of these questions here to see if there's anything that I can answer in this moment. Otherwise, I'll get to them later.
We have a question on enrollments and changing of subscriptions in the Q&A. Just as a reminder to everyone, if you have questions, drop them into the Q&A for us. That's the whole point of this call, is to make sure everybody gets their answers to the questions that they've been having as they're navigating through both the app and the portal. So if you guys have questions, drop them there for us.
That's a great point, Adam. Thank you. So I'm gonna just breeze through a couple other things. So all of this shareable content it's all like that. So these specific links will take you to the product page of that specific product, and would take your prospect to that product. The way that you can have that interaction that I was mentioning before, where if you add contacts, so if you go to this contact section and you add contacts to the app, first of all, we don't touch those contacts. We don't use those contacts for anything other than initiating messages that you tell us to when you send a message through the app. That's the only way that we use those contacts. You can add them, you can delete them, you can manage them yourselves. They're your contacts. When you are on your device and you click to add a contact, you can either add them like one at a time manually, or you can import them from your device contacts. By adding contacts to the app, you can message people through the app, but you can also then share specific pieces of content with that specific contact through the app, and then it will show tracking specific to that contact, like I was showing you earlier. The way that you do that is you would add a contact, you would then go to a shareable piece of content. So let's say I wanted to share Prima with somebody. Instead of just copying this link, which is fine, you can copy this link and then go text it to somebody, and they'll be connected to you, but it won't show you the information specific to them in the tracking. It will if they become a customer or enroll as a brand rep. You'll see their specific information because they've then enrolled and purchased something. But if you want to see the interactions, when somebody clicks on a link that you've shared, when they watch a video, when they've purchase something, then when you share a piece of content, whether it's this or a video, when you click on that shareable piece of content, so let's say I want to share this content with one of my contacts, I've added a contact that I want to share something with to the mobile app. I would now click this share button right here on that piece of shareable content. When I click that, it's going to give me different share options, a QR code, some different ways that I can either preview the content myself, download it, I can share it here. But if I scroll down to this section called Send to Your Contacts, this is specifically contacts that I've added to the app. I can either search the contact by name or email, or I can scroll down and see the list here. So when I choose to share content this way, so like let's say I sent a text. I don't even know if I have Adam's actual number listed in here or if this is me pretending to be Adam. So let's say I sent this text to my contact Adam. Now, when Adam gets that, if he clicks on it, that specific link has now been coded to Adam, to that piece of content, to me as the brand rep. So if Adam clicks on it, he'll have this experience. He'll be able to watch the video and engage with that piece of content.
Long before wellness became an industry,
He could then click and learn more, and it would take him into the Prima product page. And then he could purchase if he wanted to. But what I now get is I get specific tracking on his interaction because I shared it with him in that specific way. So now when I go back and I can either look at his specific contact card and look, it immediately shows the interaction that he just had in real time with that piece of content. So that can be really powerful. And again, it can be as simple or as in-depth as you want it to be, but that becomes really powerful. That's also shown on the homepage section down in catch-ups. Homepage, home section here, in the catch-ups and in the recent activity, it'll show there as well as on their individual contact cards. Really powerful way to share content. But as I mentioned, it can be as simple as just sharing your specific links, right? You could just share, if you want to just share your replicated site link or your brand rep enroll link, do that. That's totally fine. If you don't need all those additional like details and insights, that's okay, because sharing these links will connect people to you and will allow you to build your business as you've always done. It can even be as simple, if you want even simpler, if you go to the home section, My Business, at the top of this dashboard here, it can even be as simple as you sharing your ID with someone, giving them our support phone number. They can call us, tell us you sent them by giving us your ID, telling us what they want to buy. We can take their order and set them up and connect them to you over the phone. So it can be as simple as you want, or you can use all the in-depth options here in the tool, in all these tools that we provide. Shopping, this is where you can buy additional products. You can add to your subscriptions here. So these subscriptions right now, if there's a question somebody had, how do I change items on my subscription? So right now there's something that we're fixing. So when you're managing your subscription right now on the home page over on my orders up here at the top, right now you can't add or change something on your subscription directly here. You would have to actually, if you wanted to add something, you would need to go to the shopping section and then check out with a new item. So let's say I wanted to add Flex as a subscription. I would go to the shopping section. Let me show you that again. The lower right, far right-hand corner, little shopping bag here is the shopping section. I would choose the product I wanted to add. I would then add it as a subscription, not just the one-time price or one-time purchase option. I would add it as a subscription. I would then add it to my cart and go through the checkout process there. It would then add it as a subscription. However, right now, the way that works is that it would then initiate the subscription today for that product. And so if you want to add something to a subscription right now, if you want it to happen on a certain day, you would need to wait for that specific day and then go through that process. We're working on fixing that so that you can do that actually in your subscription management. You could change something out. If you wanted to add something and then remove something, you would then delete an existing subscription from here. If you're having any trouble managing your subscriptions, please reach out to support and we can help you with that.
I just spoke to someone today who's a good example of this, Curtis. So what she had done is gone in and she added a Viso Lux to her order, and she did it just how you're talking about, where she went in, she added it to the cart, and then she checked out, and she said, "Well, my subscription is showing for July 19th." And I said, "Well, when you did the checkout, it actually initiated your Viso Lux to go today, and then your next order is going to be on July 19th." So then I was able to walk her through how to go bundle her subscriptions, because she also had a Prima that was on subscription as well. So then I walked her through the process within the portal on how to go bundle those subscriptions together as well.
Yeah, we're working on improvements to that. There's some benefits of the way that it's currently working, because you can adjust the individual subscription on each product individually, as opposed to doing it on have to change only being able to make a change on the whole group. But we need to add in the ability to be able to add or remove individual subscriptions from specific dates. So we're working on that improvement. And apologies if there's any confusion or frustration there, but please reach out and we can help you there. One other thing that I want to show here while I'm in the app, and then we're gonna probably wrap it up in about 10 or 15 minutes. So I want to make sure I've answered all the questions and maybe touch on the desktop Oliabo Studio as well for a minute. A really powerful piece of information for those of you that would like to use this tool within the app is shareable carts. So let's say you've got someone, either an individual, a neighbor, a friend, someone that wants to buy a specific product, and they've already let you know that they want to buy that product. They've either tried it, or you've given them a sample, or they, maybe I've got a neighbor. Let's use Flex as an example. Maybe I've shared a little bit of my Flex with a neighbor, and she's like, "Wow, that really helped me. I would love to order that. How can I order that?" So what you can do is you could come into your mobile app, go to this shopping section down here on the bottom right, click on Flex, determine whether or not they want to just buy it once, or do they want to get on a subscription. Select that, add it to your cart, just like you're going to check out. But instead of you going to your shopping cart and proceeding to check out as if you were going to buy it, notice there's this little share cart link down here, or share cart button down here. When you click that, it'll give you the opportunity to copy a link. When you share that link with someone, when they click on that link, it takes them right to the shopping cart with that Flex already in the shopping cart, and all they have to do is add their information and check out. So it makes it really easy for someone to check out. So watch this. So I've put whatever it is that I want to build for them in this cart. I now click share cart, and now gives me the option to just send it to somebody right here in my contacts, or if I wanted to send it to somebody via another thing like WhatsApp or Instagram or Facebook, I could come in here and do that. Or I can just come right here and I can copy that link. Each device is a little bit different, but I can just copy that link. And now that link, like all the other shareable links in Oliabo Studio, is now connected to me. So now let's say I shared that link with someone, either via text, email, social media. When they click on that link, this is what it'll do. So let's pretend I'm that person I shared the link with, my neighbor. She's clicked on this link. When she clicks on the link, it now takes her directly to the shopping cart with Flex in the shopping cart, and she's connected to me because that link came from my Oliabo Studio. If she has Apple Pay, PayPal, she can click this. If she's already logged into one of those services on her device, it's only going to take her 2 clicks and she's checked out and done. Otherwise, she would just add her email, phone number, shipping information, and payment information, and check out, and she's done. So that's a really powerful way to share product with somebody that's ready to go. I'm going to get into, I think that's it for the app, and then I'm going to get into for a few minutes to the web version of Studio to answer a couple of these questions, and then we'll wrap it up for the day. Okay. Okay. Here we are. So to access Oliabo Studio from your computer, your laptop, or your desktop computer, in your browser of choice, go to oliabo.com, just to our website. And from there, this little icon in the upper right corner, this head and shoulders icon, is your account icon. When you click on that, it'll prompt you to log in. If you're already logged in, it'll just automatically log you into Studio as long as you stay logged in. So for example, I'm already logged in, so I just click on that. And oh, I'm not logged in. I logged out for this demonstration. So all you do is just enter your email address. It will send you an email with the login code. So now I've got another window open and I'm grabbing my login code from there. And you can either write it down or you can copy it and then you can type it in or you can paste it in. And then it will log you in. And I always recommend if this is on your own device, just stay logged in, right? If you just stay logged in, then so for example, I'm going to close this, go back to the website. Let's say, it's a week later, 2 weeks later, tomorrow. The next time I come back here and I click on this, it automatically logs me in. I would also suggest potentially considering adding bookmarks to these things. Every browser has the ability to add bookmarks and to have a bookmark bar. And by adding bookmarks, the way you do that is you just, on any website that you're visiting a lot or using a lot, this little icon here at the front of the URL, you just grab that, drag it, drop it in the bookmark bar here. And now anytime I open this browser, I can just click on this and it'll take me right back to that URL. So I always recommend doing that with anything that you're doing a lot of, whether it's with our website, Oliabo Studio, anything else that you work with a lot. So Oliabo Studio on the web is very similar as far as what it's got. You've got the home section with your replicated site link, your brand rep join link. You've got some highlighted pieces of content, tutorials, access to resources, the shop, your calendar, your tasks. Down here is how you contact customer support. You got the shareable section here with all that shareable content, similar to the app that we went over. It's all about knowing your audience, whether it's an individual or a group, social media, in person, texting it. Who are they and where are they at in their journey? What are they looking for? Are they looking for some wellness support and relief? Are they looking for an opportunity? And where are they at? Come into the shareables, find a piece of content that you think will speak to them, get your link and share that content. The shop is where you can shop and buy additional products, add additional products on subscription, buy one-off, one-time purchases. My orders is where you can manage your orders. This is where Adam mentioned if you've got multiple products on subscription. For example, I've got 2 products right here on subscription. I've got Viso Lux, I've got Prima, but they're on different days. If I wanted them to show up on the same day, because I don't want them to come on different days, it's more convenient to have them on the same day. But perhaps I set these up on subscriptions on different days. Then I can push this bundle button right here. And when I click that bundle button, it'll show me both of those. I can select those, and then I can step through these steps to say, okay, I want them to come on this particular date. And I'm going to make sure that they're coming to the address I want them to come to or add a new address. And then the same with payment method. If I want to add them to a different payment method, I can do all that, and then it will bundle them together so that then they ship to me on the same day. This is also where I can go in and I can edit the next billing date. So again, similar to the mobile app, if I want to move this forward to get it sooner or later, I can change that date. I can cancel, I can skip the next order, I can change the shipping address, I can update the payment method. That's that's where you can do that on your subscriptions. Here's where you can see your orders. There's one thing to note. Some of you might be wondering, where do I see my tracking information on my order? It's supposed to show up here on this page, but there's a glitch where it's not showing up right now. So please reach out to support and we can tell you where your order is at right now. This is also an issue here where it's not showing the correct order number in this position, in this position. So this is getting fixed in the next few days. So apologies for any confusion that is creating. Down below my orders is where you can add and manage contacts. And then you've got resources, just like on the app. Here's where you can access all sorts of, these are quick links to shareable content that'll take you back into the shareable section here. But then this is access to all those other resources, recordings of webinars and other information that way for you to dive into, and all these other pieces here, all the tutorials right here. One thing I want to spend a little bit more time on before we wrap up is this My Business section. So My Business, this is that same dashboard snapshot that we looked at in the app, but here is where you can dig into the details of what's happening in your business. And I suggest digging into these other details on a computer, a laptop or a desktop, because you've got more screen space, real estate to be able to dig through all the details and the reporting. So again, this is My Business, and it's important to note that there's this sub menu for all these other things here. So My Business, second one down from Home, and then the sub menu right here. It first lands you on your dashboard with all those pieces of info that we talked about earlier on the app. Then you've got Wallet. So Wallet will show you commission history, which will just give you a line item of all the different commissions that you've earned, whether they're weekly or monthly or quarterly. It will note that right here. If you want to dig into the details of any one of these, you would go to Wallet Commission Details, and then it'll show you the latest commission run, and then you can sort through by clicking that and sorting through past commission runs. So here is where you can see the details of how you earned. So this was a couple weeks ago. This was a commission, and this shows me all the orders and the exact breakdown of what I earned on those orders and how I generated this commission. Business snapshot just gives you the details that were shown on the dashboard in report format. Oh, it's important to note too that on any of these reports, these columns can all be adjusted. So you can adjust you can grab the column here and make it wider. If there's, if it's crunched down like this and you want to see the additional detail, you can slide it over like that. You can also grab the middle of the column and you can change the order if you want to move the order around. Right now, the export to CSV is not working properly. We're working on getting that fixed. So we're working on getting that fixed as soon as possible. But know that you can adjust all of these and move them around and expand the columns on any of these reports. The My Network section is where you would go to see the visual representation of your organization. It only shows a couple rows at a time so that if you've got a large organization, it doesn't bog down your computer and slow everything down by trying to display a bunch of different content. But you can dig down by clicking on any of these and dig down level by level. You can also search different people here. And then when you click on that person, you can search by name or ID. When you click on that, it'll then take you to that person here in the visual view. You can switch from placement to sponsor tree to see different views that way. The other thing to note, a few other things to note, when you hover over somebody, their card, their profile card pops up. It shows you their ID number, their name, their username, their rank situation where they're at, sponsor information, and then all these stats like personal QV, total group QV, sponsored with 100. Those are all metrics from the current month. So you can get a quick snapshot on how they're doing and progressing with their rank qualifications right there as well. Important to note here is this waiting room. Waiting room, formerly called the holding tank. This is where any of your new personal enrollments will be for you to be able to then move them somewhere within your organization if you want to place them underneath somebody else. So any new enrollment is automatically placed on your front line unless you choose to move them. So if you wanted to move somebody, change their placement, you would come to the waiting room. Again, that's My Business, My Network, waiting room. There's instructions right here on how this works and how to do it. But essentially what you do is you would identify where you wanted to move someone. So let's say, and you might want to do this for various reasons, either because these people are in the same geographical region, so you think they'd work well together. Maybe they have similar working styles. Maybe they're both influencers and they might be good to work together. Maybe one person is a really good mentor and you think that this a newer person would be great to be in their organization, so that they could be mentored and helped by that other person. Or you can just leave them there. If they stay within your waiting room for 60 days, you've got 60 days to move their placement. If they stay, you don't move their placement, then they'll just pop out of the waiting room and they'll stay on your front line. And that's perfectly fine. But if you want to move someone, you would first select the person that you wanted to move. Let's say I wanted to move Wanda. Now it says, now choose a placement for where you want them to be placed. So then I would click the person that I wanted to place them under. And now it'll say, are you sure you want to do that? If I click OK, it would then move Wanda to be on Tony's front line. If you want to move them further down in your organization, you would first want to go find the person that you wanted to place them under, either by searching for that person here or by clicking through the organization. Oh, I first have to unselect Wanda. This little line here indicates that she's selected. You see that? Now, if I click again, it unselects. So then I would go find that person either by searching or by coming here and clicking down into it. Then I would choose Wanda. Now I would choose the person that I wanted to place Wanda under. It would ask me to confirm that, and then it would move that placement if I clicked OK. So let's get through these remaining questions, then I think we'll wrap it up for the day. Let's see here. I think that we've answered this first one. Somebody was asking about how to use an enroll link that's then specific to a specific user. I think I showed that in the mobile app. If what we showed in the mobile app is not what you were looking for, then please, if you could clarify that. Let me read some of these others here. Oh, if you want to see if your customer or brand rep subscription orders have gone through, so obviously if you reach out to them, that's helpful. But if you go into this orders report, so My Business, oh, I didn't even show the reports here. So good timing for that question. So again, My Business and then reports in this submenu here. Reports, you've got these different reports. The new members report just shows you a list of all the different members that have come into your organization in a given time period. And again, you can move these around. You can expand these sections to see more detail and information. But this just shows you new customers, new brand reps that have come into your organization, what level they came in at, sponsor information, their information, all right there. Personally sponsored, this is your personally sponsored people, those that you've enrolled into the opportunity, whether they're a customer or a brand rep. And then rank qualification, I'm going to do a big tutorial on this another day, but this is where you can really dig into the details of how you're doing in your rank advancement and how other members in your organization are doing with theirs. The orders report right here, this shows all orders for the given period. So this is for June. If I want to look at a past period, I can click back and look at a past period. This is a new account that I have set up, so there's nothing in the past. But all orders in June, the current time period, that are within my organization. So from any customers, any brand reps, anybody that's made an order that is in my organization, it will show up here. Orders also include free enrollments and enrollments. So the question was, if I wanted to see if a subscription enrollment had gone through, where would I see that? So you would come to the My Business, Reports, Orders, and then if you're looking for a specific person, a customer, you can either search by their ID, and again, you can expand these columns. You can search for a person or their sponsor all of these columns, this little box here at the top of any column, if you click into it, you can then search by typing in the information there. So let's say I wanted to see orders specifically from Peter Parker. I can just type in Peter's name, and now I can see all the orders that have come in June for that person. Or let's say I wanted to check for orders that have come in from people that were sponsored specifically by Tony Stark. I could type in Tony's name. I could see all the orders that have come in from people that Tony sponsored. So these are different ways that you can see that. So these are orders or enrollments. So it tells you if it was an order or an enrollment that was a purchase, a product purchase, or if it was a free enrollment. And so that's how you would see and dig into that information. We're working on adding some additional information to these reports, like the products that were ordered, as well as the username. So these reports will continue to be refined and improved. One more question, and I think we'll wrap it up for the day. So when I just send my replicated site link without using share of any video or product or any other specific content, will the site sent contain videos and products without my choosing share? Yeah, it'll just show the normal site. So let me show you that. So here on the home page, if I just share my regular replicated site link, my Oliabo site link, by clicking that and copying this link, and you can test this yourself. Click that and then open a new window or a new tab, paste it in, and this is what your people will see. It will send them directly to the home page if you share that link. And then anywhere they go on the website, right, they'll see the content, the videos, the products, other information on the website, but just based upon what the website already has. But you can keep it simple. You can do it like that. That works great. That's how a lot of people do things, and that's perfectly fine. Just sharing your Oliabo site link via text, email, or if you're there in person, they can scan this QR code with their mobile device if they want. And that works perfectly fine and will connect them to you. So when they click on it, you can see your brand rep name up here, and they can see that. You can also see it in the shopping cart, powered by Oliabo and your name. And that's how you know that that link is working and connected to you. As long as you're sharing your link from your Ooliabo Studio, it's going to connect them to you. And then again, let's say I shared this with somebody and they clicked on the link, but they didn't do anything that day. They didn't buy anything. They didn't enroll as a customer or a brand rep. That's fine because now they're connected to me. Anytime they come back to oliabo.com, like for example, if they come back and they just type in oliabo.com, I mean, they're likely to go back to that text message or email you sent them or ask you again for the link. But if they just come back directly, it's still linked them to me, even though it doesn't show that link, they are still connected to me. That's how those links work. So you see that here? Still connected to me, even though they went directly to oliabo.com and not to my specific link, because they already clicked on that link and the system then has connected them to you and tied that to their browser. So as long as they don't clear out their browser history or throw their computer away and use a different computer, they're connected to you until they make a purchase. Well, and then they stay connected to you. The only thing that would change that is if before they make a purchase or enroll as a brand rep, if they choose to click on somebody else's brand rep link, it would then connect them to that person. So again, this is all about relationships, but this system is really, really strong in making those connections and keeping those connections in a really robust way. Any last minute questions? Speak now, or I was going to say forever hold your peace, but the reality is reach out to support. And we will also be back next Thursday, same time, same place, 2 p.m. Mountain Time next Thursday for the next training. And feel free to bring questions about Studio, about compensation plan, about anything. We're here to support your success, both your wellness journey and your business opportunity journey here with Oliabo. Also a reminder about our standard Wednesday Oliabo experience meeting. That's a great place to bring new people and plug them in who want to learn about Oliabo products or the opportunity. But yeah, we're here for you. Reach out to support. And let's just keep rolling this onward and upward. Lots of great things happening, and we're excited that you're here on this journey with us. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great day and a really fun weekend.
Thanks, everyone.